Hello, guys. Good morning. Well, the context of this English class, sorry for that noise in my microphone. The context of this English class is related with the acquisition of the second language. As you may know, it's a very long process. I think that you already have the first second language acquisition class, but we're gonna be trying to reinforce that with a little bit more of information. Before I start, I gotta say that this is not going to be the most common English class because it's more theory, okay? Everything right here is related a little bit more with theory, but that doesn't mean that we are not going to be doing or completing some activities that are not related with essays. But yes, we're gonna be learning a lot of theory, okay? Before I start, I just want to read this quote that I have here from Mitchell and Miles that mention the learning of any language to any level provided only that the learning of the second language takes place some time later than the acquisition of the first language. Okay, that means that it's going to be very hard in simple words. Yeah, because we are very used to our language. Okay, let's continue with this. The central concept, sorry, that we are going to be checking right here are going to be the language, of course. Language is one of the most important parts, not not just because it's on the name of the subject, but also because on English, especially in English, that is going to be our focus right here. It's an essential part of the process of learning. Okay, language knowledge, it means that, for example, you in Mexico, you already know some words in Spanish, but that doesn't mean that you already know all the words in Spanish, right? The same thing happens in English. You have a context of English, but that doesn't mean that you know all the words in English. Even me, and I think that some of you, if you are very bilingual, you also have some problems when you have to say some words. Maybe you forget some word, or maybe in a situation that you are speaking with someone from a current country, you're gonna be saying, what is he or she saying? Is that word real? I don't know. Learning situation, that means that all the situations that involves the US teachers, US future teachers are going to be providing some techniques, and of course the context. Here Mexico is the context, so you got to be aware of that before starting with that. Learning context, that is going to be another thing. So for example, Mexico is the learning context. It's very hard. Input, how do you input the new language to the people? Motivation, the reasons to learn, and second language acquisition theories. Okay, let's start with this. We are gonna be having, as you can see right here, the social construction system. So for example, right here, there are two ways that we speak. The real way, that is, for example, in Spanish, we have a real way to speak English. That it doesn't mean that we are following very specifically each of the grammar structure that we're supposed to use. But on the other hand, we are actually uh, using the language as we learning, maybe with the friends, with the streets, with our family. Okay, this is just some central concept, but I'm not going to be going very deep into each of them. Okay. Okay, so the first thing, as you can remember, we have the language. Language, of course, and this is going to be very important that you have it in your notebook. Language is divided in three things: as a system, as a discourse, and as ideology. What does it mean, a system? It means that the system for itself, they have a way, or it has a way to show you how to speak it, that mentions to you when to use it. So for example, it's going to be a very different context if you use the language in the church that if you use it with your friends, right? There is going to be a lot of big difference between one one system and the other. Okay, so that also means that when you have, for example, academic classes, you are going to be learning academic language. Okay, that is going to be the system. as a discourse. Of course, discourse, it doesn't only mean that you are going to be doing a lecture, but also it means that you are going to be having conversation. Having a conversation is also a discourse. So yes, that is going to be the central way that you are, according with your interlocutor, that is the name of the word, yes. According with your interlocutors, you're going to be having different discourses. So for example, if you are in math class, you're going to be using the vocabulary that you already know related with maths, right? But also if you move from that subject to history, it means that you are going to be using more information, more data that you have achieved in your brain, okay? And of course has ideology. It means that, for instance, you're going to be in situations where your language, um, let's say, for example, in a funeral, okay? What is the difference of the language that you use in a funeral with people that is hurt because they lost someone? It's completely different. So that means that we have an idea of how to use the language according with the situations, right? Okay. Of course, related with the language knowledge, we have here three different and important points. The first one is going to be the mentalist view. It means the competence and the performance. What does it mean, competence? That of course the system are going to be able to tell you that according with the year. So for example, if you're in first grade in the elementary school, you're supposed to have a knowledge of a variety of words, right? But after a time and after a while, you're going to be moving, you're going to be learning, you're going to be the years are going to be passing. So that means that your competence, I mean, the knowledge that you have is going to be, it's supposed to become higher or bigger or better. And also that means your performance. There are some points, and this is something true and very important and very interesting to know, that, for example, in the performance, you are going to be in situations where you have to use all your potential related with the language, right? So that means that after a while, maybe you made mistakes, but after a while, you are able to correct them. That is something that I find really, really amazing. Of course, we're going to be having the cognitive view that is going to be related with analysis and access, and pedagogic, sorry, view that is related with the knowledge and the ability to use the language. Okay, everything right here is related with the language knowledge. It means that we are not very conscious about this, but in each person there is going to be a process where all of this that is happening are gonna be getting a stick into our mind. So in the future, we can, if we are taking second language acquisition class, we're going to be moving into this. Okay, you already see competence, but there is going to be an activity. This is a small activity. You're going to be researching and putting in your notebook what is performance, what is competence, and what is communicative competence. Okay, these three are going to be your three activities for today. I'm gonna be showing you a little bit more, but these three are gonna be your three activities. Okay, just give me a sec. Okay, we're back. Very good. So after you complete your three activities, there are going to be research what is competence related with second language acquisition, research what is performance according with second language acquisition, and communicative competence according and related with second language acquisition. Related with communicative competence, we already have here the components of communicative competence according with Hines. He mentioned that there exists three different contexts that makes the communicative competence, and these are linguistic, social linguistic, and pragmatic. Okay, I'm gonna be going deep a little bit with the number, well, with the three of them. Okay, sorry for that silence. Okay, let's start with the first one that is going to be linguistic. Linguistic means to everything related with the sounds. Okay, there there is a chart, but I can't remember the name of it because that is not my subject. But there is a chart that is very related with the movement of your mouth. Okay, cada vez que nosotros reproducimos sonidos, there is going to be a movement of your mouth. And this is related with linguistics. The sound, the everything related with grammar, the grammatical tree competence, and all the kind of information that is related with the language, specifically the language, the letters, los símbolos, las simbologías que nosotros entendemos para una lectura, the sound, the use of the mouth, the use of your nose, the use of your sound, the use of your teeth to make sounds are going to be related with linguistic. On the other hand, we have social linguistic. It means that everything that is related with each of the different situation of use the language. Okay, it's a little bit hard. I think that I made it harder, right? But this means social linguistic. It means that it's a little bit more related with the way that you speak with your society. Okay, I think it's clearer now, right now. When you are with the society and according with the different societies that you are going to be into, the language and the vocabulary and everything related with information that you are going to be providing are going to be completely different to the ones that you use when you were in the school. Okay, so that does mean what social linguistics. So for example, the country, if you're in a different country, it means that you are going to be changing the way to speak. Let's think about it for a second in Spanish. There are too many Hispanic countries. Let's say, for example, Mexico, we have Costa Rica, we have Colombia, we have Chile, and many of them. All of them have different contexts. So that means that we are travel and we stay there like for 6 months. We're gonna be having a different context of the country. That is what social linguistic is going into. And of course, we have pragmatic. Pragmatic is going to be related with the study of the meaning and context um, of the lexical. Okay, so for example, semantics, morphology, syntax, phonology, and everything related with the pragmatics, of course, that is going to be the language external, the communication, what the speakers mean, the use of the language. Okay, we are going to be going a little bit deep into this, but for next class. And of course, we have, on the other hand, the components of communicative competence according with Canal Swain. So for example, we have grammatical, social linguistic, discourse, and strategic, sorry. Sometimes I'm not very used to speak a lot in English and try the best that I can, but yes. Okay, but I'm gonna be asking you to have this in your notebook, and of course, I'm gonna be needing some. I forget the word even in Spanish. Evidencia. Yes, that's what I need. I need you to copy these two charts, this one and this one. Okay, the components of communicative competence according with components of communicative competence according with Himes. This one and this one. I'm gonna be asking you these two in your notebook, and the other activity that I already mentioned, that you are going to be researching what is competence, what is performance, and what is communicative competence. Okay, so this is going to be everything for today. I'm gonna be seeing you next week, and it's a long video. I don't know how long you think it is, but yes, that is going to be everything for today, and I will see you next week. Have a nice one.